Hello, what is up guys? My name's Cody. I've sold over $250,000 online and I want to help you do the same. So today we're doing a deep dive on to what is Keepa and how can Keepa help you out. So going into what is Keepa, so Keepa is an online web scraping service where basically they scrape the data off of different listings like this page and they tell us a lot of very useful information that we can then use to make buying decisions. So just diving into the process of how they web scrape, basically since they're scraping data off of these different pages, we only get to see a fraction of the data that actually happened, and sometimes the data might be a little bit messed up, or sometimes the data is lost and we'll see different Keepa graphs where they either didn't collect the data or there's gaps. So we're going to also address that in this video too, but let's just dive into reading a Keepa graph. For all the people that are new, each time you see a hump, that's a sale. So here we can see it was at over 500,000 in sales rank and then went all the way down to 250,000. So right here that indicates a sale. So let's just scroll out. So right now we're in the 3-month view. So as we can see here, there's a lot of humps, which means there's a lot of sales. But it's kind of hard to read, right? So you might see all these humps and you can count the humps and whatnot, that's completely fine. But if you want like a quick view of how often something sells, sometimes you can just glance at the Keepa graph and make an educated decision. But sometimes I like to go to the data tab, and then if we just give it a minute to load, here we have the 30-day. Here we go. Sales rank dropped in the last 30 days. There was 21. So that means that this listing has sold at least 21 times in the last 30 days. So that's very important information. So another really important thing is the new offer count. This new offer count shows how many people are currently selling this item. So there's only 3 people selling, and in the last 30 days there's been 21 sales. So we know that each seller has sold or will have the ability to sell 7 of these pairs of shoes a month, theoretically. One big factor into whether or not you sell your items is winning the buy box though. So we're also going to go over buy box and what actually is the buy box. So right here we can see Stadium Goods has the buy box. Currently they're priced at $209. They have 13 stock, and yeah, so the buy box, 95% of the sales on Amazon are through the buy box, which means getting the buy box is extremely important. Well, how can you actually get the buy box? There's a number of factors that go into it, and we don't know the exact metrics, but having a good price, having prime FBA shipping, which means you shipped your items to Amazon's fulfillment centers, so then the customer can have 1 to 2 days shipping, is also a really big factor. And another thing is just having an account with good metrics and good reviews. So that's more or less how you win the buy box. Just make sure you price competitively and you offer prime shipping, and that should really help out. So we know what sales rank is. Sales rank helps us gauge how many are selling and how fast they're selling, right? But now we want to know how much we should actually list our items at. And for the buy box line here, I think that is very important, and it really helps me gauge on what I should price my items at. And I'll just kind of give you guys my thought process on pricing these certain items, and then you guys can get experience and sell more things and make your own educated decisions. But so for here, if I was to buy this shoe in the size 8, since Stadium Goods has 13 stock, that's a lot of stock. But before just trying to price match them, I'd look and see the listing here. So we can see the buy box price that Stadium Goods has been winning has been 209. And we can see that here in this like pink / like magenta color. And we can see historically the buy boxes went as high as $280. But Looking down here where the new offer count was 2, I could assume that that's probably when Stadium Goods wasn't on the listing. So since more people went on the listing, the price went down. This is also another big thing that is really important when you're making buying decisions. The more people that are on the listing, generally the price usually goes down. Another thing to note is even if there's a low sales rank on the listing, if there's a lot of people on the listing, that can make basically the ability to get the sale a lot harder, because imagine if this listing had 20 people on it and there was only 20 sales a month, that would mean theoretically if everybody was rotating the buy box that you'd only get one sale a month on this listing, which would make me only want to send in, one, maybe two into Amazon. While on this listing, since there's only 3 people and it's selling pretty well, I would be fairly confident to send in the 3 or 4 of these just to test it out and see how well they sell. Alright, so we're going to go over what happens when the Keepa graph doesn't look like this and it's all clean and nice. So on size 7 on this page, the Keepa graph is a lot different, but we're going to just break it down. So here, we're in the 3-month view. I'm actually going to go to the all view because that will kind of give me just more data to look at since there's not that much data here. So as we can see, why is there gaps? So on Keepa, sometimes there's gaps and there's a reason for the gap, and then sometimes there's gaps and there's just no data at all. In this case, we're actually really fortunate because the reason why there's no data is because the offer count is gone. So here we can see it gives us the timestamp at the very bottom. On October 12th, this person they basically sold out their last item, and now the rank went all the way from 454,000 to over 1,000,000, which is a really high sales rank. So maybe if you saw this item here, you'd oh, that has 1,000,000 sales rank, it's never going to sell. That would not be true. And the reason why that would not be true is just because it's a high sales rank does not mean that it's not going to sell. So here we can see, since there's no offer, there's no size 7 for anybody to buy, so of course the sales rank's gonna go up since there's no sales happening. But as you can see here, somebody went back in stock. I'm assuming it's Stadium Goods because it's for that 209 price. They went back in stock and they immediately started selling again. You can see here they made at least 2 sales because of those 2 humps. They made a lot more sales than that, but you can see here they made at least like 5 sales, and then they went out of stock again, and then they went back on and they went out of stock again. So if you see something like this happening, I would not be scared of this size 7 listing. I would be very, very confident that I could price this at about $250 to $260, especially if I was the only person on the listing, and still get a sale, because as you can see here, when they were priced at $250, they sold out. So what I'm trying to say here, guys, is even though it has a high sales rank, that does not mean that the listing is it's a bad product and nobody's going to buy it. Sometimes when a sales rank is really high, it is a bad product and you shouldn't buy it because it's not going to sell. But in this case specifically, high sales rank, it was a high sales rank just because there was nobody in stock with the item, which means this would be a great buy to buy for, say, $100 or $100, maybe even $150, because you know you're going to sell it for above 100, or sorry. So what I'm trying to say, guys, is even if a listing has a high sales rank, it might be worth it to pick up the item after you look at the Keepa graph. So here, this is actually a great product, but not enough people had it in stock. So based off of the information that we've gathered, if nobody was on this listing, I would probably list at $260 to $270, because before we were seeing it was selling a lot at $250. And if there was nobody here, like if I was to list the item right here in November, I would price it at the $260 $260 to $280 price point because I know I would get the sale since there's nobody on the listing. I would be the only price. When there's nobody on the listing, you can really just set your price. Alright guys, still just going over this listing, but a new size because every size is different, and this is just a great example. So we're on size 10 now of this listing. So it's a completely different Keepa graph since it's a different size, just making sure you guys don't get confused by that. So here we can see this is a really weird Keepa graph, but somebody's been pricing them at $205 and then they sell really quick, but when that person sells out, I'll just zoom in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So here, I know it's a lot, it might be kind of confusing, but I think this is such a gold nugget. So here, this person, whoever had the buy box here, they were at $205, and then you can see right here at the new offer count down there, at the very bottom of the screen down here where my cursor's at, it went down to 2. And the price went up because there was less people on the listing, and this other person, so this third offer count, the third person, the third offer on the listing, they were priced for $250, but when they sold out, now there's only 2 people on the listing, and they're both priced above $298. So now that's the only price available, and as we can see here, another person sold right here. A sale happened right there, and then they sold it for $298, and then it went up to $324, and that's where it stayed for a bit. But what I'm trying to say here, guys, is sometimes if there's that lowball person on the listing selling for $205, sometimes you gotta wait it out because this person here, the second offer, they sold their pair for $298, which is an extra $90 potential. I mean, that's another at least $80 potential profit just because you waited out the person that was lowballing everybody else to go out of stock, and now you made a huge, like, you dramatically increased your profit margin because you were patient. So that's just another great example of how to just squeeze more profit out per shoe, because honestly, we're all just trying to make money online, and the thing is, being able to have the skill to read these different graphs and figure out how to competitively price your items but still get the most profit per item is a skill that you'll definitely build over time, but it's just an amazing thing to have. Keepa is worth all the money that I've ever paid to them. It's very cheap, and it's only I believe it's either 15 or $20 a month now. I'm like grandfathered in at $15. If you guys are interested in Keepa, I have a link down in the description. And just thanks for supporting the channel if you use it. You don't have to use my link, but you can sign up for Keepa, and it will definitely help you make these buying decisions. So if you got any value out of this video, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button. If you guys want me to go over anything else Keepa related or just reselling in general, please leave a comment down below. I respond to every comment, and